But then again, like I said, with us as South Africans, we have never said we want to be used as a template for the rest of Africa. It's the people who want to visit Africa who use South Africa as a template. But if Nigeria feels like other people using South Africa as a template for the rest of Africa is a problem, they can take that crown. As South Africans, we got more important things to focus on than to be fighting for the title Yoguti. No, we have to be used as a template. No, we have more important things in this country that we are focused on as South Africans. So if Nigerians are feeling bad that most countries or most people who are outside of Africa use South Africa as a template when they are interested in Africa, if the Nigerians have a problem with that, then they can take that title. That one we don't care about. We don't care about. But then I wonder how they are going to convince those people to use them as a template, because it's a personal decision that people take. It's not something that is influenced by us as South Africans or something that is influenced by them as Nigerians. No, it's something that comes from a personal decision.
Is that South Africa should not be used as a template for the rest of Africa, because in South Africa they speak 11 languages. There are 1,500 languages spoken in Africa. 520 of those are spoken in Nigeria alone. We have the highest ethno-linguistic density of any country in the world. There is no country in the world that speaks as many languages as Nigeria. In Nasarawa State alone, they speak over 24 languages. That's more than all the languages spoken in South Africa, right? So actually, Nigeria is, from a statistical point of view, the country that should be a template for the rest of Africa. And I say when I get the opportunity to talk to international clients, I tell them, if you can crack Nigeria, you will crack Africa. If you crack the rest of Africa and you don't crack Nigeria, you have not cracked Africa. Nigeria is actually Africa.
You know, I honestly believe that South Africa is giving Nigerians sleepless nights. You know, this thing of Nigerians trying to paint South Africa in a bad light started off in the streets out there, random people just speaking badly about South Africa, and then other people online, you know, this whole online uproar of Nigerians speaking badly about South Africa. Now it has gotten to a point whereby South Africa is even mentioned in more formal settings. You can see the video that we just watched right now. Guti, that man is giving a lecture. I don't know if that's a lecture but it's a formal setting. You can tell, Guti, that's a formal setting. So even in formal settings now, South Africa is still being spoken of. And not in a good way, in a bad way. And as South Africans, this man is saying South Africa shouldn't be used as a template for the rest of Africa. We know, Guti, many countries in the West, Europe, Asia, and things like that, whenever they try to find out more about Africa as a continent, they start with South Africa, because South Africa is the most famous country here in Africa. So it only makes sense for them to start in South Africa. And again, South Africa is one of the most developed countries here in Africa. So it only makes sense for other nations out there, when they're interested in Africa, to use South Africa as a template. Because most countries here in Africa would love to be like South Africa. Most countries here in Africa would love to have the infrastructure, the systems that we have here in South Africa. So that is the reason why other countries there in the West or Asia or wherever, when they try to understand Africa, they use South Africa as a template. And again, as South Africa, we have never said we want to be used as a template. We have never said we want to be used as a template for the rest of Africa. Other people out there in their respective countries, it's their own choices that they make. You know what? When we want to learn more about Africa, let us use South Africa as a template. They decide for themselves. They do their research and then they decide to go to, you know, out of all these countries here in Africa, let us try to understand South Africa more so that we can try and understand Africa. It's their choice. As South Africa, we've never said we want to be the template for the rest of Africa. We want everyone, if he's interested in Africa, to start with South Africa. No, we are just quiet, focused on our own country. It's them that choose to use South Africa as a template. You know, so now these Nigerians now are saying Nigeria is the one that must be used as a template for the rest of Africa because Nigeria speaks more languages more than South Africa. Languages don't mean a thing. What do you have over 200 languages in a country? That doesn't make that country special. It doesn't make that country special. And just because you have many languages, that doesn't mean your country should be used as a template. The people who use South Africa as a template use South Africa as a template because South Africa is better than Nigeria in many things that are important when someone maybe wants to visit Africa or things like that. If you are going to put South Africa on the left and put Nigeria on the right as a tourist coming from, let's say, Asia or Europe or wherever, between these two countries, you are most likely to come to South Africa because South Africa is better than Nigeria in many aspects. Yes, Nigeria is better than us when it comes to those languages. They have more languages than us as South Africans. But a lot of people don't care about languages in a country. When people want to visit a country, they are going to focus on the things like the infrastructure, tourist destinations, the beauty of the country, the beauty of the people, like the more important things, not languages. Okay, this country, they speak over 100 languages, and then this one, they speak 11 languages. It means this one, where they speak more languages, is better than this one. No, languages are not that important when it comes to a country. There are successful countries who are developed. Look at the USA, for example. How many languages are spoken in the USA? Official languages. How many languages? I don't even know how many languages are spoken in the USA, but I can tell you, they are less than 5. Official languages. They are less than 5, I'm sure. But the USA is the most developed country in the world. So language is not a thing that's important in that way. This country has many languages, so this country must be used as a template. No. But then again, like I said, with us as South Africans, we have never said we want to be used as a template for the rest of Africa. It's the people who want to visit Africa who use South Africa as a template. But if Nigeria feels like other people using South Africa as a template for the rest of Africa is a problem, they can take that crown. As South Africans, we got more important things to focus on than to be fighting for the title Yoguti. No, we have to be used as a template. No. We have more important things in this country that we are focused on as South Africans. So if Nigerians are feeling bad that most countries or most people who are outside of Africa use South Africa as a template when they are interested in Africa, if the Nigerians have a problem with that, then they can take that title. That one we don't care about. We don't care about. But then I wonder how they are going to convince those people to use them as a template, because it's a personal decision that people take. It's not something that is influenced by us as South Africans or something that is influenced by them as Nigerians. No. It's something that comes from a personal decision. Like I said, a person says, okay, I want to go to Africa. So, in order for me to understand Africa more, which country can I use as a template? How can I study Africa? And then he chooses, you know what, let me take South Africa, because South Africa is the most spoken of countries, the most famous country in Africa, the most developed with the most infrastructure and things like that. Let me take South Africa. It's not us as South Africans who say the rest of the world, use us in South Africa as a template for the rest of Africa. No, not at all. Not at all. So that is why I'm saying if Nigerians want that title, what do they want to be used as a template? Then it's fine. They can take that title. We don't care about that as South Africans. But I wonder, why would a person who wants to visit Africa use Nigeria as a template when Nigerians paint themselves in a bad reputation all around the world? Nigerians give themselves a bad reputation all around the world. Many countries have a problem with Nigerians. Yet they want those same countries to use them as a template. They don't use you, Nigeria, as a template, because when they think about Nigeria, they think about scamming, they think about human trafficking, they think about drugs. So for a person who is not interested in those things, why would he use you as a template? But when they look at South Africa, they see the Rainbow Nation. You understand? They see a country with good infrastructure, with good systems, a country with beautiful, loving people, a country that is not always out there in other countries causing problems, selling drugs and things like that. They just see a nice country that they can use as a template for the rest of Africa, and they choose to do so. It's not our fault as South Africans. You get what I'm saying? As I conclude, let me just say again, if Nigerians want that title, or they want to be used as a template, they can take it. But I don't know how they are going to convince those people to use them, because it's a personal decision. So tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this? Nigerians having a problem with the rest of the world using South Africa as a template for the rest of Africa? Tell me on the comment section down below. But if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel and this is Mzansi Versity, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.